Welcome to our culinary corner. Today, we're diving into a surprisingly refreshing topic: the 7 foods you should never refrigerate. While it might seem like the refrigerator is the ultimate haven for all things edible, preserving freshness and extending shelf life, there's a twist in the tale for certain items. Stay tuned as we explore these kitchen revelations that will have you saying, out of the fridge and into the pantry. Let's get started. Number 1. Garlic. Storing garlic in the refrigerator can actually do more harm than good for several reasons. Garlic needs a dry environment to stay fresh. The humidity in a refrigerator can encourage mold growth and cause the garlic to deteriorate more quickly. Cold temperatures can stimulate garlic to sprout. While sprouted garlic is still edible, it can have a more bitter taste. Sprouting also decreases garlic's shelf life. Refrigeration can alter the flavor profile of garlic. The cold can diminish its pungency and complexity, leading to a milder taste than desired. Refrigerated garlic can become harder and more difficult to peel, making it less convenient to use in cooking. For optimal storage, keep garlic in a cool, dry place with good air circulation, such as in a mesh bag or open basket in your pantry. This way, it can last for several weeks and retain its full flavor and texture, ready for when you need it to enhance your dishes. Number 2. Tomatoes. Refrigerating tomatoes can adversely affect their flavor, texture, and overall quality. Here's why you might want to think twice before storing tomatoes in the fridge. Tomatoes contain volatile compounds that contribute to their rich taste and aroma. Cold temperatures can slow down or stop the production of these compounds, leading to a less flavorful tomato. The cold environment of a refrigerator can lead to a mealy, unpleasant texture in tomatoes. This is because the cold temperature breaks down the cell walls of the tomato, making it soft and mushy. Tomatoes continue to ripen after being picked, developing their color, flavor, and nutrients. Refrigeration can interrupt this natural ripening process, preventing tomatoes from reaching their full potential. When cold tomatoes are brought into a warmer environment, condensation can form on their surfaces. This moisture can lead to quicker spoilage and mold growth. For the best tomato experience, store them at room temperature on a countertop away from direct sunlight. If you have ripe tomatoes that you can't use right away, using them in cooked dishes can help you enjoy their flavor even if they're past their prime for fresh eating. Number 3. Onions. Storing onions in the refrigerator isn't ideal for several reasons, and understanding these can help you keep your onions fresh and flavorful for longer. Onions prefer a dry environment. The humidity found in refrigerators can cause onions to become soft and moldy more quickly than they would at room temperature. Chilling onions can alter their flavor profile. The cold environment can dull the sharpness and complexity that fresh onions are known for, resulting in a less pungent taste when used in cooking. Cold temperatures can also change the texture of onions, making them softer and less crisp. This can affect the outcome of dishes where the crisp texture of onion is desired. Onions have a strong aroma that can permeate the refrigerator and affect the taste and smell of other stored food items, including dairy products and other produce. For the best storage, onions should be kept in a cool, dry, well-ventilated space, away from direct sunlight. Ideally, they should be stored outside the refrigerator in a mesh bag, basket, or a designated dry storage area in your pantry. This setup helps maintain their texture, flavor, and longevity. Avoid storing whole onions near potatoes, as potatoes can emit moisture and gases that can cause onions to spoil more quickly. Number 4. Bread. Storing bread in the refrigerator might seem like a good idea to keep it fresh, but this practice can actually lead to undesirable results. Here's why you might want to reconsider refrigerating your bread. Bread stales much quicker in the refrigerator than at room temperature due to retrogradation, where the starch molecules in the bread crystallize faster in cold environments. This process makes the bread tough and dry. The cold, dry environment of a fridge draws moisture out of the bread. This further accelerates the staling process, leaving you with dry, hard slices. Bread can absorb odors from other foods stored in the refrigerator, potentially altering its flavor. Additionally, the cold can dull the bread's natural taste. Besides becoming stale, refrigerated bread can also develop a chewy and less pleasant texture, which can affect your enjoyment, especially if you prefer soft, fresh bread. For bread that will be consumed within a few days, store it in a cool, dry place in its original packaging or a bread box to maintain its freshness and prevent it from drying out. If you have more bread than you can eat in a short period, freezing is a better option. Wrap the bread tightly in plastic wrap and then in foil to protect it from freezer burn. When ready to eat, thaw it at room temperature or toast slices directly from the freezer. By choosing the right storage method, you can enjoy your bread at its best texture and flavor for as long as possible. Number 5. Bananas. Storing bananas in the refrigerator can lead to mixed outcomes, depending on the ripeness of the fruit at the time of refrigeration. Here are some considerations for refrigerating bananas. The cold temperature of a refrigerator significantly slows down the ripening process. If bananas are unripe when refrigerated, they may never fully ripen, staying firm and unpalatably underripe. Refrigeration causes the peels of bananas to turn black or brown quickly. While this doesn't affect the fruit's taste or edibility, it can be visually unappealing. On the other hand, if bananas have reached your desired level of ripeness, refrigerating them can help preserve this state for a longer period. The cold environment slows down the enzymatic processes that make the fruit overripe, so the banana's flesh stays firmer and fresher for a few more days compared to keeping them at room temperature. Keep unripe bananas at room temperature. Bananas emit ethylene gas, which promotes ripening. Storing them in a basket or a fruit bowl on the counter can help them ripen evenly. Once bananas have ripened to your liking, you can move them to the refrigerator to slow further ripening. Remember, the peels will discolor, but the fruit inside will remain in good condition for several more days. For long-term storage, consider freezing bananas. Peel the bananas, slice them, and store the slices in an airtight container or a Ziploc bag in the freezer. Frozen bananas are excellent for smoothies or baking. Understanding these nuances can help you maximize the shelf life of bananas and enjoy them at their best taste and texture. Number 6. Potatoes. Storing potatoes in the refrigerator isn't recommended due to several reasons that can affect their taste, texture, and even safety when cooked. Here's why you should avoid refrigerating potatoes. Cold temperatures can cause the starches in potatoes to convert into sugar more rapidly. This process, known as cold-induced sweetening, results in a sweeter taste and can also affect the texture of the potato when cooked. The increased sugar content from refrigeration can lead to uneven browning when potatoes are fried or roasted. Potatoes may also become harder to crisp, and in some cases, they can turn out darker than expected due to the Maillard reaction, which is affected by the sugars. When potatoes with higher sugar content are cooked at high temperatures, it can lead to the formation of acrylamide, a chemical compound that has been shown to have potential carcinogenic effects in laboratory studies. Proper storage can help minimize this risk. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, and dry place, such as a pantry or a root cellar. Ideal storage temperatures are between 45 degrees Fahrenheit to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. Avoid areas where potatoes will be exposed to light, as this can cause them to green and produce solanine, a natural toxin that can make them taste bitter and even be harmful in large quantities. Ensure that your storage area is well ventilated. Potatoes can emit moisture as they breathe, and adequate airflow helps to prevent the accumulation of moisture, which can lead to mold and spoilage. Keep potatoes away from onions and other fruits and vegetables that produce ethylene gas, as this can accelerate sprouting. However, an old trick is to store an apple with your potatoes, as it can help prevent them from sprouting too quickly. Periodically check your stored potatoes for signs of sprouting, shriveling, or spoilage, and remove any affected ones to prevent the spread to the rest. By following these storage tips, you can help ensure your potatoes remain flavorful, nutritious, and safe to eat for as long as possible. Number 7. Uncut melons. Storing uncut melons in the refrigerator isn't necessary and can actually detract from their flavor and nutritional quality. Here's why keeping uncut melons at room temperature is often the better choice. Melons continue to ripen after being harvested. Keeping them at room temperature allows the melons to further develop their sugars, enhancing their natural sweetness and flavor profile. Cold temperatures can halt this ripening process. Refrigeration can alter the texture of melons, making their flesh less juicy and more granular over time. Room temperature storage helps maintain the ideal texture. Some studies suggest that certain nutrients in melons, such as antioxidants and beta-carotene, may be better preserved when the fruit is stored at room temperature. Keep uncut melons in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight until they ripen to your liking. A kitchen counter or pantry shelf can be ideal spots. Once a melon is cut, it should be refrigerated to slow down the growth of harmful bacteria. Store cut melons in an airtight container or wrap them tightly in plastic wrap to maintain freshness and moisture. To determine if a melon is ripe and ready to eat, check for a fragrant aroma at the stem end and a slight give when gently pressed. Some melons, like cantaloupes, may also exhibit a change in color as they ripen. Always wash the exterior of melons under running water and dry them thoroughly before cutting. This helps to remove any surface dirt and bacteria and prevent them from being transferred to the fruit's flesh. By understanding and applying these storage tips, you can enjoy melons at their peak flavor and nutritional quality, whether as a refreshing snack, a vibrant addition to salads, or a sweet, natural dessert.